Everyone, welcome back. My name is Adam McElgott. Today is day 23 of reading the Bible as much as we can. Yeah, it's accountability challenge, and I I go up and I go down, but I think that the real point is to just stick with it and to keep on doing it regardless, So, I'm not perfect, and um, Lord knows I want to be, but some days I'm weaker than others. I got better excuses than other days, and um, but not today. Not today. Today we're doing it earlier. Doing it earlier today. So, if you remember Genesis chapter 22, the last thing that happened is God had told Abraham to take his son Isaac, the one who he promised to fulfill his covenant through, to the mountain. What mountain did he tell him to go to? Um, but he told him to go to the mountain and to give him as a burnt offering. Usually this is reserved for lambs and um, cattle, basically. But it's interesting because God asks or tells Abraham, and he's challenging him. It even says in the beginning, it says, God did tempt Abraham, and he said unto him, Abraham, um, you know, take thy only son Isaac, whom thou lovest, and get thee into the land of Moriah, and offer him there for a burnt offering. And Abraham didn't blink an eye. He just trusted the Lord, and he went. And then as he was about to do it, an angel stopped him, and God blesses him, basically. And so now we're in Genesis chapter 23, and so this is a really interesting chapter. There Abraham's not talking to God or anything. Basically, what happens is Sarah, Sarah's dead. Sarah dies at the age of 107, and basically, because Abraham is such a respected figure in this community, now he's looking. So now he's looking for a place to bury Sarah, and because he's such a respected member in the community, everyone says basically just bury her wherever you want. um, you know, and um, he is not going to just take the land. In fact, he feels strongly that he wants to pay for the land, and he wants to do it in front of an audience to make sure that everybody knows that, you know, he is paying full price for it. And so it's really interesting. I've heard a couple of different opinions about, you know, this chapter. One person said that what's specific about the spot that Abraham's going to ask for is that it actually overlooks the place where God had uh, like created the covenant about Sarah, um, where or that the covenant would go through Sarah's line with Isaac. And I've also heard another interesting part about how it's the first piece of land that Abraham's actually going to own that was promised to him in the covenant. And then on top of that, there's lessons of humility, diplomacy, and stewardship, as far as even in one of Abraham's worst times, he's still willing to um, be a be of strong character. And so, a lot to learn from this chapter. Let's go ahead. Let's start off with a prayer, and then we'll get into it. Father, I want to thank you for the opportunity to be here, that you would let me speak and read your word for anyone who would listen. Father, I ask that you give me the wisdom and the courage to follow through with whatever it is that you've put on my mind and my heart, Lord. And I ask, as always, Lord, that if anyone here doesn't know Jesus, Lord, that you reach out to them, you show them the truth and the way, and then that you lead them to salvation. In your name I pray. Amen. All right, Genesis chapter 23. And Sarah was 107 and 20 years old. These were the years of the life of Sarah. And Sarah died in Kirjath Arba, the same as Hebron, in the land of Canaan. And Abraham came to mourn for Sarah and to weep for her. And Abraham stood up from before his dead and spake unto the sons of Heth, saying, I am a stranger and a sojourner with you. Give me a possession of a burying place with you, that I may bury my dead out of my sight. And the children of Heth answered Abraham, saying unto him, Hear us, my lord. Thou art a mighty prince among us in the choice of our sepulchres. Bury thy dead. None of us shall withhold from thee his sepulchre, but that thou mayest bury thy dead. And Abraham stood up and bowed himself to the people of the land, even to the children of Heth, and he communed with them, saying, If it be your sight that I should bury my dead out of my sight, hear me, and entreat me to Ephron the son of Zohar, that he may give me the cave of Machpelah, which he hath, which is in the end of his field. For as much money as it's worth, he shall give it me for a possession of a burying place amongst you. And Ephron dwelt among the children of Heth, and Ephron the Hittite answered Abraham in the audience of the children of Heth, even of all that went in the gate of his city, saying, Nay, my lord, hear me. The field give I thee, and the cave that is therein I give it thee, in the presence of the sons of my people give I it thee, bury thy dead. And Abraham bowed down himself before the people of the land, and he spake unto Ephron in the audience of the people of the land, saying, But if thou wilt give it, I pray thee, hear me, I will give thee money for the field. Take it of me, and I will bury my dead there. And Ephron answered Abraham, saying unto him, My lord, hearken unto me, the land is worth 400 shekels of silver. What is that betwixt me and thee? Bury therefore thy dead. And Abraham hearkened unto Ephron, and Abraham weighed to Ephron the silver, which he hath named in the audience of the sons of Heth, 400 shekels of silver, current money with the merchant, in the field of Ephron, which was in Machpelah, which was before Mamre, the field and the cave which was therein, and all the trees that were in the field, that were in all the borders round about, were made sure unto Abraham for a possession in the presence of the children of Heth, before all that went in at the gate of his city. And after this, Abraham buried Sarah his wife in the cave of the field of Machpelah before Mamre, the same as Hebron in the land of Canaan. And the field and the cave that is therein were made sure unto Abraham for a possession of a burying place by the sons of Heth. So that's Genesis chapter 23. And actually, so Sarah, it says Sarah was 107 and 20 years old. So is that 127? um I don't know, someone help me out with that one. And so Abraham's looking for a place to bury his dead, and he goes to the sons of Heth, and he says to them first, he says, I'm a stranger and a sojourner with you. Please give me a possession of a burying place with you, that I may bury my dead out of my sight. And they respond to him, Hear us, my lord, thou art a mighty prince among us. In the choice of our sepulchres, bury thy dead. None of us shall withhold thee from his sepulchre, but that thou mayest bury thy dead. So he says, I'm nobody. And is very humbly asking for a place to bury his wife. And they respond to him, You're a mighty prince among us. Like, what do you mean you're a nobody? No, you can bury her wherever you want to. And so he shows his regards, and then he says, Hear me and entreat me to Ephron, the son of Zohar. So that's the man who owns the cave of Machpelah. And that's where he's decided that he really wants to bury Sarah at. And once again, I was reading, someone had said basically that this overlooks the spot where God had created his covenant, or expressed the fact that the covenant would be fulfilled through Sarah and Isaac. And so um, and then he says, For as much money as it is worth, he shall give it to me for a possession of a burying place among you. And so he's saying, I'm willing to pay for it, even though they had pretty much already offered it to him for free. And so now he's speaking with Ephron, and Ephron says to Abraham, Nay, my lord, hear me. The field I give thee, and the cave that is therein I give thee. In the presence of the sons of my people give I it thee, bury thy dead. And so even Ephron, the man who owns the land that he's specifically asking for, says, No, Lord, you are welcome to just take this. And Abraham, even in his, you know, uh, in the suffering that he's going through, the fact that his wife, sister just died, and Abraham responds, uh, basically, I will give thee money for this field, take it of me, and I will bury my dead there. To which Ephraim says that the field's worth 400 shekels. And, what is that between you and me? Bury your dead. And then so Abraham proceeds to pay him the 400 shekels of silver. And then it proceeds to say that Abraham buried Sarah in the field of Machpelah before Mamre. And so, um, what a good lesson. Just we don't have an excuse to act out because bad things happen in our life. And even though it would be very easy for us to make our problems the world's problems, Abraham is being humble, and he is still willing to, or he wants to, treat it as though he's nobody special. Um, it's a very meek way of handling this situation, and I think there's a good reason why he inherits the earth. So. But anyway, this is Genesis chapter 23. Thanks for listening. My name's Adam McElligott, signing off.